Today we have three updates from the Trump administration, covering the aftermath of the meeting with Zelensky, Trump's tariffs, and Pam Bondi's release of the Epstein documents. Since the Oval Office meeting with Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Zelensky, there have been updates regarding each of the parties. J.D. Vance expressed his opinion on what went wrong in the meeting and how he perceived Zelensky's attitude. Here is the clip.
And I do think that there was just a certain sense of, there was a lack of respect, there was a certain sense of entitlement, and most importantly, look, we can look past all of that stuff, but the president has set a very clear goal for his administration. He wants the killing to stop. And I think that it's very important that President Zelensky and, of course, President Putin, too, they've both got to come to the negotiating table, and that's ultimately where things broke apart. I really don't care what President Zelensky says about me or anybody else, but he showed a clear unwillingness to engage in the peace process that President Trump has said is the policy of the American people and of their president. That's the real breakdown, is I think Zelensky wasn't yet there, and I think, frankly, now still isn't there, but I think he'll get there eventually. He has to.
Following the meeting, Zelensky also came out to say that an end to the war with Russia is very, very far away. Trump later posted to social media to say the following: "This is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky, and America will not put up with it for much longer. It is what I was saying, this guy doesn't want there to be peace as long as he has America's backing." And Europe, in the meeting they had with Zelensky, stated flatly that they cannot do the job without the US. Probably not a great statement to have been made in terms of a show of strength against Russia. What are they thinking? From this, it appears that Trump is sticking by his opinion that Zelensky simply is not ready for a ceasefire, which he previously expressed immediately following the meeting at the Oval Office. However, in the most recent update, Zelensky posted to X, formerly Twitter, to say the following: "I would like to reiterate Ukraine's commitment to peace. None of us wants an endless war. Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than Ukrainians. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We are ready to work fast to end the war, and the first stages could be the release of prisoners and truce in the sky, ban on missiles, long-range drones, bombs on energy and other civilian infrastructure, and truce in the sea immediately, if Russia will do the same. Then we want to move very fast through all next stages and to work with the US to agree a strong final deal. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. And we remember the moment when things changed when President Trump provided Ukraine with javelins. We are grateful for this. Our meeting in Washington at the White House on Friday did not go the way it was supposed to be. It is regrettable that it happened this way. It is time to make things right. We would like future cooperation and communication to be constructive. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it in any time and in any convenient format. We see this agreement as a step toward greater security and solid security guarantees, and I truly hope it will work effectively." In our next update, we have a clip from Pam Bondi. Here she clarifies the misunderstanding with the previous release of the Epstein documents, as many felt let down, with there being minimal new information on the case and those that were potentially involved. Here she explains that the FBI had not handed over all of the files related to the case. However, since her letter to Kash Patel, she has received thousands of pages within these documents. Pam also clarifies that both teams are working together to organize these files and make sure that as much can be revealed as possible before being released publicly. Here is the clip.
But, you know, Sean, I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything, and a source had told me where the documents were being kept, Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Kash is also, now that we have Kash here, it's a game changer, of course, and Kash is going to, Director Patel, is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents.
Okay, I want to be clear, because I think people got frustrated because they were expecting more. You were expecting more, and you didn't find out less than 24 hours before the release. You got a whistleblower that confirmed that there were way more documents that they were supposed to turn over, and then you found out just before that.
Well, sure. And you're looking at these documents going, these aren't all the Epstein files. You know, there were flight logs, there were names and victims' names. And we're going, where's the rest of the stuff? And that's what the FBI had turned over to us. And so a source said, whoa, all this evidence is sitting in the Southern District of New York.
Yep.
So based on that, I gave them the deadline, Friday at 8, a truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Kash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can, but go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein, because there are a lot of victims.
Well, you had identified in phase one over 254. Okay. Now, is that the only thing that would be redacted? Will everything else be made public that you get in your possession?
Yeah, the FBI hasn't had, obviously, they haven't looked at the thousands of pages of documents that they've just received Friday.
Yeah.
But Kash has a team going through them, and it's always about protecting the victim. But you know what? We believe in transparency, and America has the right to know. The Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. And why were they sitting in the Southern District of New York? I want a full report on that. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency, but I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day, it's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
And that goes the same with the JFK files,
JFK,
RFK files,
Martin
MLK?
Luther King. Yep, absolutely.
What are the things that, and maybe some people don't understand the need to redact. In the case of a victim, that should be pretty obvious to people. What are the other things that maybe you would have to redact?
Well,
national security?
No, of course, national security, some grand jury information, which is always going to be confidential. But we'll see. Let's look through them as fast as we can, get it out to the American people, because the American people have a right to know, not only on that, but on Kennedy, on Martin Luther King, on all of these cases that the Biden administration has just sat on for all these years. So yeah, it's really. It's not sad. It's infuriating that these people thought that they could sit on this information, but they can't. It's a new day, and we believe in transparency, and it's going to come out. And when we redact things, Sean, what we're going to do is not just pull pages out like they used to do. If something's redacted, you will know the line, and you will know why it's redacted, like a victim's name, identifying information of a victim.
In our last update today, Trump has announced that he will be placing 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, as well as raising the tariff on all Chinese imports from 10% to 20%. It also appears that each country is looking at retaliating with counter-tariffs on the US. Due to the idea of tariffs being a controversial topic since Trump originally suggested them, it will be interesting to see how these will affect each country and other metrics, such as their respective countries' gross domestic product and rates of inflation. It appears that Trump may have different motivations for implementing tariffs on each country. For example, it has been known for a long time that Trump believes the issue with drugs entering America through the Mexican border is an issue that Mexico should deal with rather than leaving the consequences up to the American people. It also seems that Trump believes that Canada has not been so fair when it comes to companies working in each country. For example, Trump recently posted the following: Canada doesn't allow American banks to do business in Canada, but their banks flood the American market. Oh, that seems fair to me, doesn't it? Going forward, it will be interesting to see how each of these stories develop. Let us know what you think about these updates in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe for more content from us.